welcome to the UltimateE stream. We are in week 3 of UltimateE All-Stars, and today we're at Sebring. And as you can see, the cars going around are not Formula 3 cars. This time we're in GT3 cars, so you're going to see a bunch of different manufacturers, a bunch of supercars, and it's definitely going to provide for some exciting racing. With me in the commentary box, of course, once again, I've got Sohail Shah. Unfortunately, we don't have Ibrahim here because Sohail, why don't you tell everybody where he is?
Because Ibrahim is actually on track this weekend, and we're gonna see some action from his side, and it's gonna be interesting to watch.
Arman actually couldn't sit behind the commentary box anymore. He left me, so he's actually frustrated because of his person to run the stream. So hopefully we'll see you back in the cast also.
Your voice is coming a bit choppy, so we have to figure that out. But what we are going to be running on this weekend. So we are running GT3 cars this weekend, and the cars are Audi R8 LMS GT3, the Ferrari 488 GT3, the Mercedes AMG GT3, then we have the Ford GT, which I believe nobody's picked unfortunately, and the McLaren MP4 12C GT3, which is also not picked by anybody. But anyway, so we are starting with qualifying right now, and who do you think will come out on top?
It's going to be close on the top. We saw different drivers with different manufacturer cars on top. We saw Arjun Maini just now in practice putting the Audi right on top. He was the fastest with a 1 minute 59.4, but he was closely followed by Amith once again, who was only, I think, about a 10th off. So it's going to be really close, obviously, between the two of them. And Sai Sanjay wasn't far behind as well. So it's going to be really, really tight at the top. But just a quick look here on what the weather is like. It's a nice late evening race. It's 21 degrees. Light winds.
Actually, it's morning. It's morning 6:30.
Oh, sorry. It's a morning race. It looks like evening. It's great to meet these guys up. But thanks a lot, Sohail, for the production. It's Sohail and me in the commentary box. And today we'll have some special stuff on the screen for you. We'll be bringing some driver onboards to you as well. They're all connected from their homes. We'll be having chats with drivers who are driving. We've got with us Aman, who's there as well. He's going to be driving and talking to us at some point. We've got Arjun, Maini, Advait, Deodhar. All these guys are going to be talking to us at some point during the race today. But we have Arman over here. So Arman, what's up? What's the iRacing like?
I'm still figuring it out. I'm still figuring it out, but yeah, getting the grips with it. It's not bad. It's not too good either to me so far, but not bad for the first afternoon. Qualifying starting now.
Isn't it already started? I think we are 1.5 minutes into it, but I don't see any drivers out, so I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, I'm just trying to add more wing because I think I need it. But no, should be okay, I guess.
Okay, I think it's
unfortunate that you're not on the car today, Sohail, but yeah, we have a really healthy grid. As you can see, the lap times are super quick. Hopefully, I can make up some time in the race as I get more used to this game or the software. But yeah, the grid looks really good. The circuit's pretty challenging, and I shall join you all after qualifying.
Yeah, definitely.
Good luck. Have fun.
See you.
Yeah, qualifying, the time is ticking, and we don't seem to see people on track.
Yeah, I don't know what exactly is going on with these guys, but once they're on track, we should start seeing some action. But I really don't know what's going on, because when I open up my display, it does allow me to go into qualifying and allow me to drive. But as you can see, there's literally nobody on track. I wonder what it is. So let's. I think it'll be a good idea to bring up Arjun Maini onto the stream right now to maybe talk us through what's actually even going on, if he's waiting on or what. So Arjun, what's actually going on? Are you guys on track?
Yeah, I'm on my first flyer now, and I've made an absolute mess of it.
Oh, okay, but for some reason I don't see anybody on track, so I don't know what that glitch is.
Okay, well, I'm going through about halfway through the lap now. So yeah, it's going to be quite tight. I think me, Amith, and Sai are quite similarly paced, so it should be quite interesting.
So because you guys are on track,
close on the top in practice.
Yeah,
But
but
anyway,
anyway,
Arjun,
because
we
yeah,
leave it to it. Concentrate. You've got to keep these guys behind you. I'm sure you're working hard now at home. So good luck for qualifying.
Yeah,
Let's hope to
thanks.
see you on top.
All right, I'll try.
okay. So that was Arjun Maini. We do know now that he's on track and he is qualifying, but we are having some issues as to viewing what he has. So I think I'm gonna take you guys over a lap of Sebring. If I could just bring it up for you guys, so that will also help you guys try to get used to try to understand what's actually even going on. So I'm just getting the file opened up so we can show you guys as to what the lab looks like.
Sebring is one of those special circuits. It's in Florida, and it's been around for donkey's years. As you can see,
Yeah.
it is not new. The buildings around are old, the guardrails are old, but it's one of those historic circuits that a lot of drivers love to drive at. You can see that the surface even isn't the smoothest of circuit surfaces. It's very bumpy, and you've got walls on either side as well. I've never been there, but these guys and Sohail also have driven a lot in the game, so we're gonna just check it out now and see what it's like on board. So let's enjoy the lap.
Okay, so here we are at Sebring International Raceway. I'm Solisha and I'm going to take you around a lap on this track coming towards C1. It is high-speed left-handed down to fourth gear, very close to the wall on the left. Try to make sure you use all the width of the track on the entry and exit. Next, for second corner, you brake at the 2 cones marker or just before that. A little bit of oversteer on the entry, but then very important to make sure that this section is very smooth and flowy, because one mistake will lead to the other mistake, and it's very important to make sure that you get that right. And then now onto the straight, heading towards the hairpin, a heavy braking zone coming up from 6th gear down to 1st gear. Brake just after the 4 cones marker and down to 1st, and you can just see the amount of steering lock on the wheel, and just shows that how slow this corner is for the car like this. But then again, now moving towards the next few corners, again a very fast flowy corners need to be right. Coming to the braking zone, brake just before the 3 cone marker down to 1st gear. As you can see, I just turned in a bit too early, which I managed to correct in time to make sure that everything works out clean. And coming through this section again, as I said, very fast, so one mistake will lead to the other. But braking a bit too late for this corner means that I lost some time through that corner, but it's still it's fine for now because the rest of the lap is clean. So more important to focus on finishing the rest of the lap. And coming to this fast left-right sequence or right-left sequence now, very important to keep the car flowing in the correct direction, because there's a long straight after this, and if you mess up the corners, the straight's gonna be very slow, and you're gonna lose out quite some time. But now heading towards the last corner, which is also called the sunset corner, I don't really know why, but it is another very bumpy corner. Angling the car before braking just after the 2 cone marker, and keeping it again very close to the wall on the right. And then you can see the bumps have made it oversteery, but that, guys, is a lap around Sebring International Raceway in a Ferrari 488 GT3.
So that was a lap around this track, and I've just received news that unfortunately I have registered for the session as a driver, which means that we won't be able to see them qualify, but we will definitely be back with them on the what do you say during the race. So for now, this is the situation as to what we have on track. What do you think of this, Aditya?
Smart move, Sohail, especially when it comes to crunch time. Anyway, it's only 13 guys who have set a lap here. Unfortunately, Rohan couldn't make it into the session. But looking at the guys on top, obviously it's close. It's good to see Sebastian up there, and we know Arjun had a 159.4 in practice, so we know he's capable of it. But like you said last time as well, you can do only 4 laps. You can't do more than 4 laps. But this is a long circuit, so I don't think there's any opportunity to do any more than 4 laps. But it's good to see a good mix of manufacturers. The guys in the Ferraris is Karthik, Rohan, and you, but you unfortunately couldn't make it in there. So it seems that they are struggling a little bit, but it's a well-matched fight between the Audis and the Merc.
Yeah, I did spend loads of time in the practice sessions, and I was doing somewhere around the low 2 minutes, so still nowhere near the guys. These guys, nowhere the pace these guys are. I think I would have probably been in the top five for sure, but nowhere near Amith Kutti or Sai Sanjay or the pace Arjun Maini were doing. So definitely the Ferrari a bit slower on this track, and not to mention, Rohan Shankar has not even set a lap time yet. He's not even out on. I'm not even sure if he's on
No, I
track or
think
not.
Rohan was unable to get into the session. I just received a message from him, so he's trying to sort it out to try and get back in the session. So let's hope we can be back in by the time the race starts. But you've got Chetan who hasn't set a lap, Arman who hasn't set a lap, Najib who hasn't set a lap. So a bunch of guys still to set their laps, and we're running out of time here in qualifying. So hopefully we'll see them set a lap soon. Unfortunately, we can't see any cars on screen at the moment in this particular qualifying session. But a little bit of a driver error we see by Sohail, too eager to get behind the seat, so he jumped into the session as a driver, not a spectator. And that's why we can't see anyone going around. But that's cool. We'll be back in 40 seconds for the race, and we'll get to see the cars in action there. And it looks like this could be the final order for the grid. We obviously can't really see right now who is where on the track and what exactly is happening. But it does look like Arman has managed to set a time in. He's 3 seconds off the fastest, but he got on the game today, so he's got a lot to learn, obviously.
Yeah, definitely. Coming to the race now, remember that the lap around Sebring is around 2 minutes, so that means that these drivers have 10 minutes, and they have just about enough time to get the 4 laps in, if they get all 4 laps in the perfect zone. But obviously that is something to be expected in a race and not a qualifying session when they are all pushing to the limit. But now that we are complete of the qualifying session, we should be on our way to get through to the rolling start, where we should see Amith Kutti start on pole, and poor qualifying ish for Arjun Maini. Expected him to be a bit higher. I think he's is he third or fourth? Do you remember?
He was fourth. Arjun was still fourth. It was Amith on top, Sai in second, Sebastian in third. Great job by Sebastian there, and Arjun in fourth. So hopefully we'll be back quickly to be able to see the cars on the grid. It's going to be a great race to watch. Obviously, with the GT3 cars, we're definitely going to have more action, a little bit more bumping and tapping, obviously. And that's going to create some great motorsport for us this evening.
Yeah, definitely. We also have some driver onboards, as in like not onboards, but we can have a look at them driving on their own simulator, sitting at home during this race. So we will bring that up when something interesting comes up during this race. So that will be something fun to watch. But we're just waiting for the drivers to grid up. There is about a maximum of 1 minute, and then they will be on their way for the pace lap.
Yeah, hopefully you made it to spectator mode, have you?
Yeah, so the thing is that we would have seen the drivers if the qualifying was open, but because it is lone qualifying, you don't see the other cars, so that's where we are lacking. But definitely next session we will see all the drivers, as I'll make sure not to make that mistake again.
We know your ego, Cyril. We know your ego. And the wheel, and then you enter the session as a driver. But anyway, nonetheless, we're seeing the cars here gridding up. They've got a long formation lap to go.
Yeah.
And it's going to be interesting. It's going to be more than a couple of minutes, this particular formation lap, because it is a long track. But we can start talking about the drivers as we go through the lap.
Yeah.
A lot of them, they come from interesting backgrounds. So, and you raced against some of them. You even, and the two of us actually even look up to, some of them, like guys like Narain, for example.
Yeah, definitely.
To be really strong, a pioneer in Indian motorsport. So it's always great to see him in action.
Yeah, 100%. Even drivers like Arjun Maini, when I was taking part in the X1 Racing League, I was really excited to be going up against someone like Arjun Maini and get a chance to be somewhere in the top with him in terms of the pace. But in the time that I had in the car, I think I did all I can, and just definitely shows that how much more in practice you need to be on pace with them. So they're very highly skilled, highly talented drivers. Definitely, I was sweating a lot while practicing to make sure that I'm putting in enough hours to be on pace with these guys, but I was still not there. It just shows the amount of effort that these guys put into it.
It looks like a bunch of guys have run into each other again in this warm-up lap. I don't know who that is in the yellow car, but that's definitely going to give him some trouble during the race.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out as to who they are, but we aren't getting any official or any confirmation as to who it was.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we'll
Karthik,
find out soon
Tarani,
enough.
oh no, the Audi there. I don't know which who was in that Audi. If I could just probably change the camera and maybe have a look at to what is happening. Okay, so that's the pace car. And I'm trying to change the driver.
It looks like it was Arman actually, one of the cars that had damage. He's gone and plowed into the back of someone. So I think he's got damage. So he's going to start from the pit, I think, in this scenario.
Yeah. But I think it was a Merc. I did see an Audi with that damage. It could be Vishwas as well. So if I just get on with Vishwas and get on board with Vishwas. But Shahan right now is in the pits, I think. So I think Shahan might have been one of the drivers unless he's not made it onto the grid. That could be the other reason. But if I try to look at Vishwas here, yeah, there he is. He's got damage. He's got a lot of damage.
Yeah, I think someone's gone and plowed into the back of him. This formation lap always tends to throw up some kind of chaos.
Yeah.
It would be the best GP cars without so much damage at the setting. But there we can see the Merc making his way back up the field to his pit slot, so that's good.
Yeah,
And,
but now that we're heading towards the end of the formation lap, let's have a look at the grid. We have Amith in P1, Sakshan in P2, Sebastian Gruner to the surprise in P3, Arjun Maini in P4, Advait Deoda in P5, Vikash Anand in P6, Narain Karthikeyan in P7, Oshan Kothadia in P8, and the Merc seems to be a favorite over here in terms of the grid.
Yeah, it does seem to be quite a favorite here. And for all of you watching, as you can see, they've also got Instagram handles, so please follow them. Please follow UltimateE Official as well on Instagram. We keep getting updates from us. As we go down the order further, we've got Vishwas Vijayaraj, we've got Karthikeyan, very experienced race driver. Ibrahim, again another very experienced race driver. That's not his Instagram handle though. Vignesh, followed by Chetan Korada, who's been racing around the Indian racing scene for a long time. Ankush Yaturu, who's racing all the way from New York. Shahan Ali, very young, very talented race driver, and unfortunately Sohail, who's there, who can't really make it onto the grid, is down in 16. But we're watching the drivers now come around the final corner. Big grid, you can see a lot of cars here, and like Sohail said, the Mercedes seems to be the favorite today.
Yeah, definitely. But now we are seeing the pace car and these guys come. You can see the marshal holding the flag for dropping it any second now. So once that's dropped, we should be green, and it is green as you guys can see.
Race is off, and clean start looks like for everybody. Doesn't seem like we've had much chaos. That's good to see. We saw Vishwas entering the pits there. Unfortunately, his race, the damage has ended it pretty quickly, but good and clean through the first corner there.
Yeah, Arjun Maini seems to have dropped the position. He's down to P5, and Narain Karthikeyan's also dropped a bit, so that will be interesting to see how they manage to bring it up. Karthikeyan has got a lightning start, he's up into P8, but as we say that Narain...
Just as you said that, that's very unfortunate. I think he got a bit too eager on the gas and ended up going into the wall with this lovely blue Mercedes here. Unfortunate for nothing, but here we see Sebastian and Arjun fighting for third place. I think that's Arjun who's... Oh no, they're fighting for fourth actually. Arjun
is gone wide.
Arjun has run wide. Oh no, that is unfortunate. I think that was Sebastian on the inside of Arjun there and ended up...
oh, there's another crash in front.
Another bit of a crash there. Not sure who's in the Ferrari. There must be... can't see who's in the Ferrari.
Yeah, we really can't see. Yeah, so these guys have... There has been a lot of incidents here, but Amith, Kuti and Sai Sanjay are in the front and are very close to each other. So we'll have to see what happens with them. We have 13.5 minutes left in the race as we just started. So we'll have to...
the safety car is going to come out now. There's no restarts in this, but I think we're probably going to see a safety car now. It'll probably bunch the field up. So
yeah,
what do you think so?
Like, yeah, definitely. Safety car should be out, and yeah, there you go. The flags have turned yellow, and safety car's out.
Yep, there was a whole bunch of chaos. It's good to see the safety car out. It is going to bunch the field out, and I think people will be able to get repairs.
Yeah, we do have 2 fast repair, which means that the cars get repaired instantly, and this allows the drivers to make sure that so in case the drivers get involved in an incident that is not their fault, they get 2 faster best, but then more than 2 we means that they'll have to wait in the pit lane longer. But as you can see that the drivers are weaving around right now to get the tires up to temps. As you can see, the pace car is coming out on track, so we should be under safety car regulations any second now. Yeah, there it is, safety car is right in front. So you can see the yellow lights, and when those lights on top of a safety car go out, which means that's going to come in on this lap, and I believe this will stay out for around 2 laps as per the regulations under iRacing.
Okay, so that means the safety car can't decide to come in at the end of this lap.
Yeah, so you guys can see that the drivers are now starting to catch up to the safety car. There are a few drivers in the pits, namely Vignesh Kadrabat, Vijayaraj, who's now just come out of the pits. Vikash Anand, Oshan Kotharia, Arman Ibrahim is also in the pits, so that is surprising to see. And Rohan Shankar as well. But now, if you're wondering that even with the fast stepper, these guys are in the pits, then why are they in the pits for so long? It's because these drivers have used towing, which is moving your car from wherever it is on the grid to the pits, and it takes around 2 minutes to 5 minutes depending on how long and the position of your car on the track it is. So that will make a difference.
Yeah, that'll be interesting to see. I hope you can hear me well. So, of course, because we're using technology from each of our homes, there's a lot of up and down with the internet connections, and I'd love to see the results also come up on the screen soon. But right now, we can see Amith is leading the pack behind the safety car. He's got Sai Sanjay behind him, and Karthik has moved up a lot. He's up to 4th place. So impressive drive there by Karthik on the first lap when there was all that chaos. He's kept his nose clean and actually managed to bring himself up. But someone who did lose out, and I think he had made a lot of paces up, was Rohan Shankar in the blue Ferrari. We saw he was definitely running in the top 5 at some point because he had the incident with one of the Audis. Not sure who, but yeah, lost out a lot there.
Yeah, Arjun Maini also, after that incident with Sebastian Grunert, has managed to hold on to that position in P5. So that's good to see, and it'll be interesting to see how he tries to make those positions up, considering Karthik Tarani in front of him is a bit slower, as we saw from qualifying, but I could be wrong considering he might be having more race pace than quali pace. Can differ from driver to driver. What is your take on that?
Yeah, it does. I mean, we've seen Arjun, take his time to pick his pace up, but then halfway through the race, he's always really, really quick. And you see that a lot with different drivers. They have a slow start every now and then, get the tires up to temperature, and when they do, they're really quick and there's no stopping them. And here we're looking at even someone like Amith, who's, if he looks in his rearview mirror, he's got some of India's best racing car drivers. And if he looks in front of him, he's just got the safety car. So he is in a very, very good spot. And of course, there's Sebastian Grunert, who's a very experienced race driver there as well, waiting to bounce. So he's got a lot of work cut out for him. I think the safety car is going to be out for another lap, which means it's going to make it a short and exciting dash to the finish line. There's only going to be, 6 minutes
about 6 minutes to the end of the race.
So it's going to be a very, very exciting dash to the line. Everybody is now there behind them, behind the safety car, except for Shahan, I think.
Yeah, definitely. I believe Shahan's also another driver who's not managed to stay in the session. So I believe he's got internet issues, and that's why he's not in the session. But coming through turn 1, we just look at the safety car, and you can see that the lights are off, which means that we will be seeing the safety car come in this lap, and we will be seeing some action in back racing towards the end of this race. And
why don't we actually have a chat with Arjun Maini while we're doing this? Safety car. That would be great. I'd love to hear from him.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Let's have a chat with Arjun Maini. So I believe, Arjun, you're on with us right now?
Yes, I am.
So
we saw a lot of chaos. Can you run us through it?
Yeah, so basically I realized before I started that I hadn't put enough fuel in my car. So so I was just trying to take it easy already because I wasn't going to make the end. And I missed my braking down at the hairpin. and just avoided Adwait. And then when I came back on track, there was a lot of carnage, and I still ended up P5. So in a way, this is a blessing for me, the safety car, because I can make it to the end now with the fuel.
Yeah, and you are having a little bit of internet issues as well, I see. But anyway, that kept aside, what are your plans? What are you thinking now? What are you thinking you can do now? Because we're assuming 6 minutes, which means around 3, maybe 4 laps of racing.
Yeah, I think let's wait to see what Adwait does, and then we'll take it from there.
Good luck.
Thanks.
We're gonna jump on board with Arman now and see what Arman has to say.
Yeah.
Arman also had a very, very exciting first lap, and let's get on with him.
Yeah, hi Arman, can you hear us now?
Yeah.
So, how was your lap
It
one?
looked a bit violent. Yeah, honestly.
Okay. Unfortunately, I got hit from the back, and the guy in front just stopped while on the formation lap, so my race was over then. Then we had to go to the pits and get the repairs done. But now I'm just wondering whether I can overtake everyone and go past the safety car to recover some laps. You know.
Unfortunately, I don't think if that's allowed or not. You would be about a lap down. If you probably try overtaking a car, the game should tell you if you can or not. So that's probably up to you. But anyway, the safety car is coming in this lap, so probably not the safest idea.
The man is just charging through. No, he's just gone quietly and stuck to the back. Did he tell you to stay behind?
Well, I am behind, and let's see. I get some laps in, and we have one more qualifying, so aim for that. I only managed one lap in this qualifying anyway, so it wasn't the perfect session.
Cool,
Yeah.
good luck. We're gonna get back with the leaders now as the race begins.
Yeah, we'll see you guys.
See you.
Okay, so now as we're ending the second lap and the safety car is coming in, let's have a look at Sai here. Oh, okay, we've got one more spinner, and that is, if I'm not wrong, Ankush. I think.
Do you see what Amith has done? He's piled everyone so close to each other, and that's actually causing a bit of chaos there.
Yeah.
And is that Arman in that black mug? That's
I think that is Ankush.
I don't know who that is. But
Yeah, that is Ankush.
That guy, whoever that was, is that Ankush?
I think that is Ankush. Car number 4 is Ankush. I can see it on my screen. But as Amith has picked up pace, Ankush is slowing down to give positions back. He's got a good start. Otherwise, the other might be the closest driver to getting any sort of challenge from front or behind. Looks like Karthikeyan might make a move on the inside into turn 1. We did have the practice race earlier, and these two drivers in a Formula 3 car were going at it. But we've got spinner. Amith's fun.
Amit's spun it. He's lost it. He had such a good lead. He had such a good chance to actually win this race. He's just thrown it away, and that's given now the lead to Sai.
And there's chaos at the back. There's Rohan Shankar there. There's Chetan Surinelli behind him who spun. I did see a couple of cars go into the wall there. That's Vishwas being just overtaking him. And in the front, now there's a gap. And now Arjun Maini is now right behind Adwait Deoda, who has been gifted that P3 all of a sudden. But what happened to Karthik Tharani? He's been
there,
overtaken.
actually. Yeah, he's there in fourth place. He's I think Arjun got ahead of him. Managed to get away from that chaos, and Sebastian was hounding Karthik, and I don't think that Ferrari is the easiest to drive around the circuit. The Audis and the Mercs definitely seem to have the edge over that car.
Yeah, it is a bit of an oversteery car. They did have some contact as Sebastian tries to make the move. I think we can go on board with Sebastian on his simulator and have a look at what's going on. Yeah.
Let's watch Sebastian. I would love to see Sebastian fighting through on board. Let's have him on the screen. Sebastian is one of the drivers who's live with us today. We've got his onboard video as well. We'll try and get that on the screen. In the meantime, he's fighting hard with Karthik. Karthik seems to have just opened up a gap, but Sebastian is much quicker, and he is definitely going to try and reel him in. He does know that if he gets ahead of Karthik, he's got the cars in front of him, who Arjun Maini, who's up to second, Adwait Deoda, who's now in third, and he's definitely going to try hard to catch them to fight for that podium finish there. But you can just see Karthik struggling to keep the car in check. He's sliding around a little bit, and Sebastian is taking advantage of that every corner.
Yeah, 100%. And you can see Sebastian Gruner right there on the onboard on the right hand side of the screen. And you can see he is working the car a bit too hard to keep up with Karthikeyan. We have a bit of a lagging going on. And as we try to fix that, Abhit is going to keep you guys entertained.
Yep, so it is going to try and fix that. In the meantime, we see Karthik has gone off. I don't know if he made contact there with Sebastian, but unfortunately, we see Karthik going off there. He had done so well to come all the way up, but now he's lost all those places. He is going to drop back quite a bit, but now back to the leaders. We're watching Arjun Maini, who's in second place. Super job by him. Like he said when we went on board, he did have an issue on the first lap where he didn't fuel and then had outbraked himself, and he owned up to it. He said he made a mistake and just gone straight on, but he said he was going to make the best of the current situation, and he's doing that. So good to see Arjun Maini making the best of it, but we are seeing Sai Sanjay just also slightly pull away in the front lap after lap. Advait, the owner, who's trying to stick to the back of Arjun Maini here because he is afraid that Sebastian could catch up with him, but I think post that little bit of an incident probably with Karthik, Sebastian has lost out. He was a lot closer the last time around, but has fallen back, and we're still on board now with Arjun Maini trying hard to reel Sai Sanjay in. Slowly, ever so slightly, he is reeling him in, but I don't think we'll have enough laps. I'm pretty sure now we're probably going to start the last lap. We'll see that come up on the screen once they cross the line. There we are with Sai Sanjay. Let's have a comparison between the two of them and their laps. Sai is actually in the 2:02s. His previous lap time was his fastest lap was a 2:02.4. However, I do think Arjun is quicker on this particular lap. We did see he has closed in more than half a second, so I'm curious to see the times pop up. Sai's done a 2:00.6. Arjun's done he did a 59.9 there. So no, I think the times just changed. The previous lap 2:01.0 and Arjun's at 2:00.4. Yeah, I was right. He did close in more than half a second there, and he's managed to pull away from Advait as well. 3 laps to go in this race, so it's not the end. It's not the last lap. This actually gives Arjun Maini a lot of time now to catch up with Sai. As long as Arjun can keep it clean, I think he has a good chance to catch up with Sai. We have Sohail who's back with us. What do you think, Sohail? So we are seeing the cars flashing around and lagging a little bit, but I guess that's just your usual connectivity issues that come back.
Yeah, I have completely put the computer into cooldown mode, so that should be on its way. But about this fight, this is the last lap. I think it does say 3 laps.
3 laps to go, actually.
Yeah, it says 3 laps to go because we had the safety car, so that kind of bugs out with the graphics. So it is the last lap as we know, and the 1.5 seconds is not probably gonna be. It's probably gonna be enough for keeping Sai Sanjay in front because. Definitely we're just coming through the last couple of sectors now, and I don't think Arjun Maini's got enough time to catch up because he is quicker, but I don't think he's got enough time to catch up. As you see, it's changed the last lap. The moment time runs out, because that's when it realized that the safety car was out. The game was shut down.
And yeah, there it goes. It's switched. Yeah, my bad. These games really do have their way of fooling you. But great job there by these two guys in front. They're coming down to the last corner. I think there's one more corner to go, and Sai seems to have stretched his legs. And an easy win for him unless he does something drastically wrong on this last corner.
Yeah, we're just waiting to see if anything happens, and. I think he's come out pretty clean, so that should be running good, and he comes home to win race number 1.
Fantastic job there by Sai Sanjay and Arjun Maini. Of course, we should actually go on board now and listen to what.
Rohan Shankar's crashed at the last corner.
Rohan Shankar, and is that who's to the back there? Who is he fighting with? Was it?
No, I saw him go into the wall, and that's okay.
A lot of action that just happened there. I mean, in real life, you know how much that would have cost him. That would have cost him a lot. But Rohan Shankar had done so well to move all the way up to, was he in 6th place? He had done so well to get
he
up
was
to
in 4th.
He was in 4th, was he? Oh no, and he's just thrown it all the way on the last corner. We obviously, I'm sure we have a lot of Rohan Shankar fans watching as always, and I'm sure they're quite disappointed with what they've just seen. But hopefully now Rohan will be able to make up for it in the next race. But yeah, like I was saying, so would love to go on board actually with Arjun and Advait and listen to them because they did have a bit of a battle in the middle.
Yeah.
I think Arjun's the one who managed to make the best of that.
Yeah, so we are on call with them right now. We're just waiting on them to give us a reply and waiting for Arjun and Advait. So are you guys here?
What's up?
Yeah, we've
What's
got
up?
Advait, we've got Arman. What's up? How was the race?
Yeah, we're just waiting on Arjun
I think
now.
I think Advait's a better one to answer that question.
Yeah, Advait had an interesting race with Arjun, and there was a little battle between the two of you, and I think Arjun managed to get the better of you. Talk us through that, Advait. Okay, I don't think we're able to get Advait here, but Arjun, what are your thoughts on that little battle with Advait and the race? You really managed to make those places up finally.
Yeah, I think I got quite lucky. I had a good restart, and I managed to get. I mean, Amith spun, and I managed to get Karthik straight away. And the track conditions were quite tricky there, so I was really struggling with a lot of understeer in that one. So I think a lot of people were making mistakes in the first few laps, and Advait ran a bit wide, and I managed to get him. So yeah.
Yeah, but good stuff. I mean, yeah, you're right. We did see a lot of people making mistakes. We saw a bunch of guys spinning out on that first lap, and Amit as well. You know, poor guy. He did so well before the restart, and then soon after he went around turn one, he was in the wall. That was really unfortunate. But all in all, good racing. Thanks for that, Arjun. One more to go. Let's hope it's as exciting or even more exciting than the first one.
Yeah.
Hello?
No worries.
Oh, we have Advait on board now. So
Advait is a weekend entertainer. So Advait, tell us about your race. You didn't provide us with enough entertainment this time, but to talk us through it.
Oh god, yeah, it was a close one. I had a good start. I got these guys at the start, both Arjun and Sebastian. And then on the restart, I don't know if I didn't warm up my tires or there was not enough grip, and I just went wide and opened the door for Arjun. And then on the next lap, or the penultimate lap, there was a back marker that came out of the pit lane, and he was in the way, so I almost went off. So I did provide you a bit of entertainment, and I had Sebastian right behind me after that. So yeah. I guarantee that wasn't me. I stayed. And I'm shouting. I thought it was Shahan. I was like, Shahan, get out of the way.
It was great to watch. Good stuff. Anyway, good luck for the next one, guys. We're going to be starting qualifying fairly soon. So get all that armpit sweat out of the way and get set for the next one.
Cheers. Thanks. Bye.
Cheers.
yeah, so now we're heading towards the second session. So what are your thoughts on that? What do you think would come out of that?
It's actually really close. It's hard to say because we saw Sebastian really giving a good fight, but had some trouble somewhere in the middle when he had contact with Karthik, so he lost out with the leaders. We saw Karthik actually make his way all the way up to fourth. After fighting with Arman for a while, he made his way up to fourth. So obviously Arman couldn't make the best of it like Karthik did.
He was the one who caused all the trouble.
The red Ferrari, he was.
Okay.
Sorry, not the red, the yellow Ferrari, the yellow one.
Yeah. Okay.
That was Karthik. And in the end, the blue Ferrari, that was Rohan.
Blue Ferrari was fine actually. No. Oh, the last lap, yeah, on the start finish line, I saw that.
Yeah, that was unfortunate. Rohan actually, again, he didn't make it for qualifying, so he started all the way at the back. Made full use of the first lap carnage, made full use of the safety car, and he was up to fourth, I think, on the last lap, fourth or fifth. And I don't know what he did on the last corner, but just threw it all away.
I think I saw him go like straight head on into the wall on the exit. I think he got a bit of an oversteer. That last corner is bumpy, as we saw on the onboard video earlier. So that can throw you off, and maybe just went a bit too eager on the throttle and put into the wall.
Yeah, it's a tough circuit, this one, and from what I see, I can see everybody really fighting it around the bumps. And one little mistake and you're on the wall, and Rohan made it all the way till the last corner and made the mistake there. Would love to see a replay at some point. But getting back to what we think, I would love to see Amith not make the mistake this time. He is really quick. He doesn't normally make mistakes. We haven't seen Amith in this series make very many mistakes in the past. So we did see him struggle last week in Formula 3, but every time he gets back in the GT car, he just seems to be pretty quick. I remember the first weekend actually when we ran a GT race. Amith was very, very quick. Arjun did win that championship by 2 points, but Amith gave him a run all the way till the finish. And eventually Amith managed to win a series as well, I think, on our third weekend. So It's always a great fight on the top between Amith, Sai, and Arjun, and we'd love to see you there. But obviously, we have a lot. We have to thank you for the graphics that we're seeing here. It's good stuff by you. Makes the racing a whole lot informative and makes the entire thing a lot nicer to watch.
Yeah, I did spend a lot of time, so thanks for that. And I hope that I can get on the track next week for sure, because that's probably what I want to do more than sitting here and commentating and watching them drive, and in my head just going like, even I want to do that. But I'm sure it's the same in your mind as well.
Yeah, I mean, we'd love to see you on the track, and hopefully we see you soon next week. And let's see, actually. But anyway, let's get back to this race now. It's actually great to have drivers in the commentary box and hear their views in the middle of the race. It's, we've got Advait sitting all the way in London. We've got Arman in Chennai. We've got Arjun. I think he's in Bangalore right now.
Yeah, he told me he's in Bangalore.
Yeah, and we, having all of them sitting in different parts of the country, but joining us in the commentary box, it's amazing what technology can do sometimes.
Yeah, we just need these kind of technologies in real life now.
In real life, we are using it. Yeah, but in real racing, I would love to have it. We do get a lot of drivers talking during the race, and I think at some point we are going to do it just to entertain the audience. You're going to hear drivers say all kinds of things, and unfortunately, we don't have the censor button here. Formula One can do that, but we don't have that button here.
Yeah, so because of that, we have to kind of hold on to some drivers away from the commentary box to make sure. And obviously, I have them in the car. Probably bring in some race engineers, one for a couple of drivers. Maybe make things more interesting for us to watch, and kind of have them on and maybe have longer races. Maybe.
Yeah, hopefully. We do plan to do longer races in the future. Of course, we try to keep everything within 1 hour. We do seem to have Shannon, who seems to have selected the wrong car, though. So maybe he'll see if you can do something about that.
Unfortunately, I can't do that. That's not something that iRacing would allow us to do. That's unfortunate for him for choosing the wrong car, because I did mention it to everyone that we are going to be having an extra car to allow the spectator, who was supposed to be not me, be able to join the session and spectate it so that he can stream it. But now we're in the session. I'm just gonna advance this to the qualifying, and we are in the spectator mode, so we should be able to see it. And yeah, so as we now just join the session, it's going to be a little laggy for the viewers, so we should be back soon.
We are watching qualifying now, and we're watching Amith Kuti, who's on track. And let's hope he can do a repeat of last time in qualifying again, and let's see if we can see him on pole. But we know Arjun is very, very quick, and probably didn't string the lap together the last time around, but if he does, he's definitely someone to watch out for.
100%. Right now, Amith, obviously he did set up the strings last time, the previous session, so he will have to he'll have to make that reputation continue going, because I think he did qualify on pole by around 6/10 of a second. That was very, very fast, as you saw from him. For now, you'll have to just have a look as to what he can do, and yeah.
See what he can do here. I'd love to see what the others are doing as well. Maybe we can go on board with Narain, Karthikeyan, who isn't much of a GT driver, but he did have his hand at GT racing last year actually, and he ended the championship with a win in the Japanese Super GT. So it's good to see him back in a GT car here, although it's a GT3 car. We're watching Narain Karthikeyan right now, who's I think he's on a flying lap, or he's just about to start a flying lap.
Yeah, he's on the back straight heading towards the last corner. And we are right now on board with him, heading towards the last corner. So this probably gives me another opportunity to take you guys on a lap around Sebring on board a former Formula 1 driver. And he makes his way across to the last corner to start the lap in this fantastic looking Mercedes AMG GT3 car. And as we now head towards the first corner, braking hard but light driver doesn't come, but he has just kind of
lost it there in turn one. I think he just held on to the brakes a little bit too long, and that just makes the front end too heavy. The rear end light, and you see Narain has lost it there going into turn one. He doesn't have too many chances here, does he? He's gonna need 2 laps to set a time.
Yeah, this definitely has lesser laps compared to the previous session, so definitely something that the drivers will have will probably put more pressure on the drivers, in fact. So he should be able. That's something that these drivers should be capable of handling because these guys are at the top of their own motorsport chart or the route that they've taken as their motorsport career. But some of them are gamers as well. Amith being one of them. So we've seen how fast he can be.
And I can tell you, it's not easy actually in the game. If you are a racing driver, you're used to actually feeling a lot of grip in the car. And suddenly, I mean, all the games that I've played, you just feel so much less grip. It doesn't give you that feeling that you really are used to. You know, you don't. Maybe it takes a different kind of feel. I'm not sure. Maybe it takes a different setup. I'm not sure what exactly it is. You will know better. You should talk us through that.
Yeah. So what I feel is that when I'm in a real car, I do get feedback from my legs, the pedals, my bum, my back. Basically any part of my body that's in contact with anything related to the car gives us feedback. But over here there's only your steering wheel that gives you feedback, because that's what is getting feedback from the game, and that's what comes to us. So your hands have to be very very detailed in that manner. That's how we say it. And we'll have to be very, we'll have to be able to take a lot of information in so that you can process all of that only through your hands. So there's not much opportunity for you to gain information, but you have to deal with what we have.
I mean, I can imagine, and also, a lot of them have different setups at home. You can buy a more expensive one, which gives you a different feel. You can buy your regular Logitech, which you can just buy in India off Amazon. So they all give you a very different feel. So what do you think the differences are between these wheels? Can you tell us?
Yeah, so good that good that my wheel broke last week in a way, because now is when I can officially tell you the difference, because I have a different wheel and I was using a Logitech G27 up until the last when I was going to be driving with the Thrustmaster TGT this week. And the differences are mainly that one, the way the motor gives you feedback is also very different. So the Thrustmaster wheels are usually belt driven, which means it gives you a lot more smoother feedback, and Thrustmaster are driven by gears, which means that it's a lot more rough feedback, but that gives you quicker feedback as a difference. And Thrustmaster wheels are also capable of producing more force, which means that the amount of forces at maximum could be closer to real life, not as much as real, but very close to real life compared to the compared to the Logitech. And the differences in the pedals can also be there, because I'm able to brake a lot later with the pedal set that comes with the Thrustmaster TGT, and it also has an added load cell. What that does is that it makes the pedal a lot harder. So I think the brake forces that need to be applied by me onto these pedals are about 20 to maybe 50 kgs at best, and that's a lot of force if you ask me. And when you compare it to a real life car, I've driven Formula 4, and I'm pretty sure you've driven a lot more things that are a lot more have a lot more things in it, or a lot more weight in the brakes.
Obviously, a lot goes into all this technology, and a lot does go into real racing cars. And It is some fascinating stuff there, Sohil. Thanks for that information. And let's get back to this qualifying now. We saw Arjun set in 2 blistering laps, both in the 1 minute 59s and a 1 minute 59.4, I think, to end it off. Rohan Shankar, super job by him. I think he's currently in 4th place with an early 2-minute lap, and he's in 4th place, and he's just behind the stars, behind Sai, Sanjay, and behind Amith Putty. So, job by Rohan, who hasn't been playing this game for very long, and Shahan. Half a second still to go to catch up with Rohan, and let's see what Arman and Narain can actually do in the session. We saw Narain lose it on the first lap. Hopefully he can put a lap together.
I think Narain is in the pits at this point of time from my info.
Okay, so Narain is in the pit, so maybe he is going to sit out of the session qualifying and join us in the race. And Arman, we can see that probably set 1 lap. He's 3 seconds off right now, so he does have a lot of catching up to do. Like I said, it's the first time he's playing this game, and it is definitely not easy when you jump into a game and expect to be quick straight away.
Exactly. I believe he started about 3 hours ago, and I've been playing this game for the past 3 years, and I'm still getting some time to. I'm still trying to focus harder to get up, so it just shows how much effort goes into it. So pretty sure Arman with a couple of days more would have been a lot closer to them than what he is right now, probably somewhere around the low 2 minutes for sure. But right now we just saw Shahan lose it coming out of one of the corners, and that's qualifying over for him. But still, P6 not a bad results. What do you think?
Yeah, great result there for Shahan. Managed to put 1 lap in at least. And again, we see the guys on top, which is Sebastian. Great to see Rohan there. He didn't make it to the last qualifying session because he wasn't able to connect. But he did make it for the race, and he did make up a lot of places before throwing it away on the last corner. Watching Karthik here, we know Karthik can be very quick. He lost out on practice this week. I think he was a bit busy doing some stuff, but he's using qualifying as practice as well. Good, clean, tidy sector there. But we know if Rohan can be quick in the Ferrari, we do know the Ferrari is quick. We've got in the top 4, we've got 3 different manufacturers. So that just shows how evenly matched this field is when it comes to manufacturers.
Yeah, considering that we have only 3 manufacturers on the grid for today and tomorrow, it's good to see that we have all 3 in the front. So the performances are very close to each other, but as Karthik now comes over the line, he's done a 2-minute 1.421. So where does that put him? That puts him in P9, 2 seconds off Arjun Maini, and that's something that he definitely can improve on. With more practice, he could have done that. And initially, in fact, when he started with practice, 2-minute 1 was supposed to be the time to beat, and now we are a lot ahead of that.
Yeah, I know. They have gone really, really quick. I remember that day when they were practicing. Everybody says that... that 2-minute 1 is really, really quick, but now they've gone much quicker.
Yeah, even I was while practicing, when I was there, I'm saying that, oh shit, 2-minute 1, need to practice harder. And eventually, when we got quicker, I think qualifying has just ended. Yeah, qualifying has just ended, so we're just gonna be getting on the grid now. But as I was saying, even during practice, when I was driving, I was like, 2-minute 1, okay, that's very quick. I need to focus faster. And I spent about 30 hours on the sim to find out I'm not driving. So anyway, I'll hopefully be on the grid next week. So we'll make it up there and probably win it. We'll go for it.
Yeah, hopefully we're looking forward to that. But now we're looking forward to the race that we've got. We see the safety car there. Everybody is gridding up here, and this time, of course, we've got a different man in pole position. We've got Arjun Maini, who is now in pole position, managed to make up for his loss the last time round. But for him in pole, it's going to be interesting to watch because he does have Amith Kuti, Sai Sanjay very, very close to him, not too far behind, and they are followed by Rohan Shankar and Sebastian Grunert.
Yeah, 100%. Also knowing that Arjun Maini's got a lot of experience in real life with rolling starts, it'll be interesting to see what kind of a tactic does he come up with. We didn't see much from Amith Kuti during the race start, but during the race restart after the safety car, we did see him slowing down way too much, try to punch up the full field, try to get an advantage coming out of the last corner, surprise the drivers behind. So it'll be interesting to see what Arjun comes up with.
Yeah, for sure. But he does have the advantage, obviously, of being on pole position, and this is going to help him. And
100%.
formation lap is going to start. So I think we should maybe try and go on board with Arman. Let's have a chat with him. Let's see what he has to say about that qualifying session.
Yeah, let's do that. So I'm just be messaging Arman to bring him up. I hope Arman can hear us. So Arman, are you here?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So
Qualifying, we saw that you were 3 seconds off the quickest, but Arjun was super quick. He did a 59.4. So what do you think? Where do you think you're losing time?
I think when you're that much off, it's a little everywhere. It's again, like I said, getting used to it. I mean, as you've seen over the last 3-4 weeks, or more than that actually, these guys are on it majority of the day and majority of the night. So it takes a while to get used to it, I guess. But nevertheless, I think it's all about getting a good race. But the guys in front, I mean, I think those the usual suspects: Arjun, and then Amith and Sai, who all, I mean, the three of them have been very consistently up there, I think, through the week and all. The week.
Is that? Wait, we have some guys spinning out over here on the formation lap.
Some places for me.
It's a little bit. I know, freebies for you, but I think that was Sai or Amith. It was one of the two. It was a black Mercedes. It was one of the two. Not sure who it was. But a few free places. It was both of them actually, because that's just put Rohan and Sebastian up into second and third.
yeah, but I believe if they have their cars intact, they can gain those positions back. So that is something that happens under the safety car and iRacing, which we probably wouldn't allow in real life, I believe. What's your thought
I
on
think
that?
no, you can. You are allowed in real life to get your places back as long as you got off the grid before the last car passes, and if you do have an issue on the formation lap, you're allowed to pass the cars to get your place back. So let's see if they can do it. Yeah, you have the best view of it. We're watching from the cameras, but you have the best view on board. Actually, so take us on board with Arman. Let's see what it looks like from
Yeah, let's do that.
Sohail here is doing our production, he's doing the commentary, he's doing the whole stick, so he has his hands full right now. But let's go on board with Arman. We're watching Amith.
By the time you'll come to me, I'll miss it because there are a couple of marks I just had to rush past. But
Yeah, I think we missed it. Let's probably go. Yeah, let's go on board with Amith. Okay, he's back in position. Where's Sai? There you see, he's got damage.
He's got damage. Sai has damage. Hopefully not too much. Hopefully he can stay in the race, but he's warming his tires.
Oh yeah, that's a lot.
He's got big damage there. It looks like quite a bit.
What about Amith? Let's have a look at Amith. Amith looks fine.
Yeah, Amith looks fine. Sounds fine.
Rear.
He's got rear damage. So Sai probably
Yeah.
ran into the back of Amith's car here. But we're just coming now to the end of the lap. Just one more straight to go into the last corner, and then the race will start. So hopefully we'll see these two guys stay on track, not have to go into the pit for any repairs. And
Yeah.
I don't think they will.
Next time we're on board with Arjun and talking to him, I really want to know his thoughts when this incident occurred behind him in his mirrors.
For sure. Anyway, let's leave Arman to the race now. I'm sure he's a novice and heart must be pounding.
Yeah, 100%. So we leave Arman to the race.
no,
Thanks for-
I realized what we did wrong the first race as well. But it's fine.
Tell us, photo session.
You can't stay close to these guys on the first lap. They're all over the place. I think even Narain saw that and he was like, screw this.
But it's fun to watch from the commentary box. And even during the restart, I don't know if you realize, Amith literally stopped the entire pack.
Yeah.
Everyone but
Okay, the last one I'm going on.
Okay, go for it. We'll leave you to it. But we see Arjun just flying already. Actually, he's put his foot down really early, given him the opportunity there, way before the green flag actually. And
we have Rohan Shankar spinning help.
oh no, he had such a good qualifying. That's really sad to see. I would have loved to see. Oh no, I'm sure he's kicking himself there. He's dropped down to 13th. We're seeing Advait go into the pit right now, and a few other guys. Even before the race started having
Yeah, I believe there were Ankush, Shahan, and those guys. But coming back to the front, Arjun, Amith, and Sai are very close to each other, which means that we should be getting some action pretty soon. Even with the damage, they're able to keep up, but I think that they're just gonna have that issue come up later on as over a long stretch. Maybe it will give them a couple of tenths. Or maybe half a second on a lap, but you'll have to see what Karthikeyan can do from P4 behind them.
It'll be interesting to see. Again, once again, Karthik actually has made a lot of places up to come up to P4. He's a backhand of Sebastian, but here we see Sai actually now charging to make a move on Amith. Amith's defended his line. Sai's going to try to go around the outside. Sai's got damage though, so I really don't know how long he's going to be able to hold on to it. Something like that would normally cause engine overheating, so I'm going to be interested to see whether it does happen in the game. But in the meantime, he did manage to make that stick, and now he's charging for Arjun Maini. But Arjun is super quick. The Audi is also super stable. I'm pretty sure Arjun's got a very good setup as well, a car setup.
Yeah, 100%. He was sharing the setups with a couple of drivers, and they did give some good feedback on the on the group chat. So that's good to see that Arjun's working his way up, even though he was missing from most of the qualifying session. But then coming to that overtake that was made, quite a bit funny part. I did see side brake lights, and then I was just waiting to see when Amith's brake lights are coming on. I don't see them come on, so I'm just like, it's even gonna brake, but it's gonna. And eventually realized that his brake lights stopped working because of that incident. I guess Aditya is somewhat disconnected with us, but anyway, so we just
No, I'm back. I think there was an
mind.
issue with the stream.
Yeah.
I just got some information saying that the stream is stopped online, so we're just trying to sort that out.
Oh, okay.
But in the meantime, while Soil's off stand out, we are following Sanjay here, who's gone past Amith, and he's really quick now. In the first race, he seemed to be behind Amith, wasn't able to get ahead of him until Amith made that mistake. Close to safety car did come out from the first lap, and but now Sai is stamping his authority over Amith. And in the meantime, Maini is still pulling his lead out. I know he's going to pace himself. We saw Arjun, unfortunately, last week make a few mistakes all by himself. So he does know that he doesn't need to make those mistakes again. He's got a good lead. He's got the pace. Even if he backs off by more than half a second, he's still got good enough pace to maintain that lead over Sai Sanjay here. So it is advantage Arjun at the moment. People seem to be a lot cleaner this time, actually. We did see a few people make mistakes, but the rest of them do seem to be rather clean. But now looking at, let's go down the order here. We've got Arman, who's made a lot of places, actually. Arman now up in the 7th place. He started quite far behind. Rohan, who had a terrible start, is in 8th. In 9th, we've got Chetan, Surineni, 10th, Shahan right now. So once they do cross the line, it's gonna sort itself out. But a lot of guys have an incident before the start of the race itself. They actually piled into each other on the last corner, so there was some chaos there.
Yeah, definitely. But now you can just see Arjun Maini pull up some gap to Sai Sanjay. There's now 2 seconds. But I'm more interested to see if Karthik can make that gap up to Arjun Maini. Will be interesting to see. Karthik is just 2.5 seconds behind him, so that should be something that we can keep an eye on now.
Yeah, that is something that we should keep an eye on. Karthik is behind Amith, but it's going to be tough for Karthik to catch Amith unless Amith makes a mistake. We have seen that, Karthik is picking up his pace. He's definitely done a lap quicker than his qualifying. His last lap was actually a 10th quicker than Amith. It's good to see over there. But can he hold on to it? We just got information that Narain also got damage, and he was caught out in that first lap incident. Unfortunate for Narain there. Had a terrible qualifying session, but we saw that Narain is really quick, particularly in these cars on this track. He managed to get himself in the top 10, and it's not easy, especially against all you gamers who are playing day in and day out all the time. So it's great to see Narain catching up. He is relatively new to iRacing. Good to see him catching up with the guys in front, and next week I'm pretty sure we'll see Narain up there in the top 5. Arman is also going to spend his whole week behind the wheel, and we are going to see Arman as well up there. But we already see Arman now up in the 7th, and I'm sure that's giving him some amount of, let's use the word Josh. We're watching Narain on track. He's got his car fixed.
Oh.
He's oh man. I think it's the commentator's curse. Every time he says something, it's not really, like I said, it's so different in the game. You've got to be so patient on the throttle, and I find that really difficult, and I'm sure Narain finds it hard as well. Because you're so used to actually having a lot more grip in real life. You can actually put your foot down a lot harder, and you can feel what's happening when your foot's going down. But here, it's so hard to feel it till the car's actually spun around.
You probably need a motion simulator to get more feeling.
Yeah, I can absolutely empathize there with Narain. It's not easy at all. It takes a lot of practice, and you guys just go round and round and round, and it's I don't know how you guys do it.
I've been on a simulator since 2015, so I was on the sim before I started racing in real life, so kind of where I got a bit more of feeling from, but it's still not as quick as these guys on the sim, so hats off to them.
I know, hats off to them. I mean, especially I see, Sai and Arjun, they do have racing experience. They've done a lot of racing. They've raced against, particularly Arjun raced against the best in the world at the highest level. He's driven in Formula 2. He's done a couple of years there. So it's his experience against someone like Amith, who's pretty much never done a real race in his life. I think they did a training session very recently in a Formula LGV car. So for him to be able to put this kind of stiff competition up to guys like Sai and Arjun is great to watch. But obviously you're seeing that in this particular race he's not really able to take it all the way to them. But we saw in races before that Amith is capable of winning races again and again. And it's just at the end of the day, I guess it's down to your day. You have a good day or you have a bad day, and for that being said, I have to empathize with Vikas Anand as well. He did select the wrong car, unfortunately, getting into the session, and we know it takes a long time to restart the session. We discussed it for a while actually before deciding to go ahead with this race. So we hope to see Vikas back in action tomorrow. One of the really more enthusiastic young drivers, had a great racing career as well. And meanwhile, back to the race following Amith Kuti here, who's being chased down by Karthikeyan. But Karthik's a bit up and down in his lap times. He's not able to hold on to him. And also just noticed that Sebastian is not there anymore. He was behind Karthik for a long time. Seems to have had an incident somewhere.
Yeah, Sebastian is down into 13th. He was in the pit lane for about a minute. So I think he did have an incident and he did stop and was in the pit.
And it looks like Arman's out as well. Arman's losing places really, really quickly. I don't know what happened to him, but
Arman's also in the pit.
He is in the pits. Oh no, he must have lost it somewhere. It would be interesting to see. Let's actually go on board with Arman right now and see what he has to say.
Yeah, let's do that. While we are watching this fight, I'm just gonna wait. I don't know if you just noticed, but Amith Kuti just gained a lot of time on Karthikeyan.
Amith gained time. I mean, I guess Karthik. Yeah, I don't know what happened to Karthik. He must have made a mistake because he was reeling in slowly. It seemed like Karthik's last lap was almost a 2:04, so he must have made a mistake on the last corner or something there.
Yeah, but now we have Arman on board with us. Hi, Arman.
Hello.
What happened to you?
Well, I'm parked on the left there. Nothing to do with me. I have made a mistake. I was actually having a decent race up to then. We were running the top, 6th, 7th. And keeping pace with the guys in front, unfortunately came to a standstill on the left.
What happened? Was it damage to the car? Or?
No damage. It's few technicalities of the game, like I said. This game's a little different too. It's more realistic, so there's certain precautions that need to be taken before the race that weren't.
You didn't feel.
Yeah.
Oh, you got caught. Actually, Arjun told us this the last time. He forgot to fuel before the first race, but that entire safety car situation and all that chaos actually helped him go fuel and come out and still come up there on the podium. But you were having a good race till then. We were watching you keep up with the guys in front.
Yeah, it wasn't bad at all. I mean, like I told you I think the first race, again, there was a little mistake in the setup where I was running very low on the traction, so it was a little difficult to drive. But getting the hang of it, I think by tomorrow in Watkins will be a lot closer. But there's a good race happening up front. I think you guys could tune back in there and we can catch up post this race.
Yep. Back with the guys in front, looking at Amith Kuti now, who's trying his best actually to reel in Sai Sanjay, but just not able to do it. Again, Sai is quick, but just not able to catch Arjun. So these guys have kind of paced themselves right now.
Yeah,
I think it's clear for Arjun really.
I think we should consider the damage both these drivers also have on the cars, Amith and Sai.
Yeah, two of them I think just got too eager on the formation lap and ran into each other, and that really actually ruined any chances they had. And they are slowly just losing out to Arjun here, so it is unfortunate. And again, what I'm really fascinated by is the number of guys who've chosen Mercs, and you're seeing Arjun stamping his authority here in an Audi. But I'm going to say that because I'm an Audi driver and I've raced Audis all this time, and it just feels like home for me to get into an Audi. So great to see Arjun on top and see those four up there.
I was gonna jump in an Audi myself, but then was too eager to get into the Ferrari. But anyway, we do see some Ferraris also up there, so it's not too different from others. Rohan Shankar and Karthikeyan flying the flag for them. And the Merc is actually pretty dominant even here. We did see in the first week of UltimateE on the Asata Corsa game, I think I was the only driver in the Merc that weekend, and we did have a couple of drivers in the other cars. What are your thoughts on that? Like, this is kind of a reverse role over here.
Yeah, actually, there weren't too many people choosing Mercs then, and a lot of them were in Ferraris, including Arjun, Maini, and Amith. I think Amith was also in a Ferrari on the first race weekend. But I guess it varies from game to game, and a lot of these guys have driven Mercs quite a bit in this particular game and seem to be probably enjoying the experience in the Merc. So, and also it's down to the track, So all these cars are evened out by what they call the BOP. And I'm sure each game in-game they have a balance of performance. So, you may see a bunch of cars quick here and not so quick tomorrow at Watkins Glen, or you may see someone slow here but very quick at Watkins Glen tomorrow. Meanwhile, watching Shahan here battling it out with who's that? It's Chetan, Shahan and Chetan battling it out. Good close battle actually here between these two guys. It's going to be interesting to see who comes out on top, but they're holding on. Oh, are they going to make contact here? I think there was a little bit of contact, and Chetan just went straight a little bit. Yeah, I think Shahan gave him a little bit of a nudge from behind, but also Chetan got a little bit eager there, tried to shut the door on Shahan when there wasn't so much place left for Shahan on the inside.
Shahan kind of barged his way through, I would say that. He did put his car where he kind of used the Ayrton Senna code. He no longer...
He saw the gap. He went for that gap. And honestly, the gap was there, and Chetan tried to close even that little bit of gap that was there. So that's what happens as a racing,
Yeah, 100%. And but now we should be heading towards the last lap with Arjun Maini now. As he comes across the final few corners before starting the last lap.
I would love to actually go on board with Arjun Maini. I think it's going to be great to watch what it's like, him driving this car around. Clearly a league apart, from the rest of the field this weekend. And we saw him dominate in qualifying too. We saw him do a lap time that was over 4/10, almost half a second quicker than Amith Kuti. So
he's very fast in the race as well. Looking at my charts, he's done 1 minute 59.8 as his best lap in the race, and Sai Sanjay in P2 has done a 2 minute 8. Amith's done a 1 minute 1.4, and the only other driver in the 2 minute 0s is Advait Deoda with the 2 minute 0.9, and Arjun is flying.
We know Arjun is flying, but we know Advait is really quick, and here we are on board with Arjun. But we saw Advait super quick in the last race, but I don't know what happened on the first lap. But let's go on board actually here with Arjun and see how he's just so smooth through that first corner, not fighting the steering wheel nicely into the corner here. It's great to go on board with someone like Arjun and see how smooth he can not make any mistakes.
He seems to be having some network issues. We've seen previously, but
we've seen it previously. Arjun.
It must be a bit familiar for you looking from this camera look, maybe watching your own onboards in an Audi.
Yeah, it does remind me. It takes me back a little bit. I know what all those buttons are for. All the buttons on the steering wheel. So
but do you remember all of them?
It's a bit of deja vu. Vaguely, actually. There's a button next to your right thumb to start the car. You've got the traction control and the ABS knobs on the steering wheel there in the center. The yellow one in the center is traction control. To the right, I think, is ABS. There's two little buttons at the bottom. In the middle, the indicators left and right.
Okay. This is something that I really want to ask you. What would be the use of an indicator in a GT3 car? I mean, you usually don't even need headlights on track unless you're heading in a 24-hour or a long race, where you might even need to use some of those buttons as polite. But on a race like this, where you don't need the buttons, even the races that you took part in, the Blancpain GT3 Asia, they were in the day mostly, and they did have 1-hour races. So I really never knew the reason behind having indicators in a car.
This is a good question, actually. Indicators are actually used in a lot of circuits. The stewards made it compulsory that we use the indicators to indicate that we are entering the pit, for example. So we had to do that. And then you see Arjun actually crossing the finish line. He's probably using indicators to show he's going left and right. And it's also, to show people around you where you intend on going sometimes, especially.
Or maybe during blue flags.
Yeah, blue flags, particularly if you're being lapped. But there we have it. We have Arjun Maini who wins, followed by Sanjay Amith and Karthik Tarani. Great job, actually, by Karthik Tarani. And is that Rohan Shankar who's made a bunch of places up? Yeah, Rohan also had a terrible start, dropped down to 13th place, kept his nose clean after that, but super stuff by Oshan Kotadia as well, to finished in 5th place here. And they are followed by Vignesh, who is in 7th right now, followed by Amith in 8th, and Vignesh is in 6th. Vignesh is 7th, and Advait is the results haven't yet settled themselves up. But we saw Advait bring some really quick lap times here. But let's go on board now with Arjun Maini. Let's have a chat with him.
Let's bring him on.
Over there.
Arjun, are you here with me? Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. I'm here.
Good stuff, Arjun. You made it look way too easy.
Yeah, no, it was actually quite tricky because I was trying to do really good laps and trying to get the fastest lap. So I think
we did see that you did get the fastest lap by about a second. So
yeah, so I mean it was good. I think the composition was good today. It's also nice to see the mix of manufacturers, and it was interesting racing. And yeah, I'm not sure how it was behind, but yeah, it was good.
There's one question in my mind right now. On the formation lap, I'm pretty sure you saw in your mirrors Amith and Sai Sanjay get into some contact. What was going through your mind at that point?
I mean, in the beginning you're like a bit confused, but I think Sai just touched the grass and went into him. But I was sure that if they didn't have damage, they would come back and retake the position. So I think maybe Sai looked like he had a bit of damage that probably affected his pace a bit. So yeah.
Yeah. I think it did affect his face. We did see damage on his bonnet, but good stuff, Arjun. Thanks for entertaining us. And you're right, we did have a conversation in the middle about how different manufacturers are there in the top 5 and all very evenly matched. And it's going to be great to see in Watkins Glen tomorrow.
Yeah, I think it should be good. I think the fact that there's different areas where the car is stronger. I think the Audi is not so quick on the straights, but really quick in the twisty bits. So yeah, it should be interesting in Watkins.
Yeah, I can vouch for that. Anyway, thanks for having a chat with us, Arjun. We'll see you tomorrow. Again, great racing today.
Thanks a lot. Thanks. Cheers.
Cheers.
Okay, thank you. Now I'm just trying to bring Arman on. Maybe Arman, maybe Aditya as well. Sorry, Advait, my bad. Arman, are you here with us? Can you hear me? Arman?
Hello?
Okay, Arman's not here, but we have Advait.
Hello.
What's up, Advait? We saw you had a terrible start to the race. We saw you go into the pits even before the race started. What happened there?
I actually wrote to Chetan on the chat before that break, before the first corner. I forgot to tell him before the start of the race, so he took someone else out before we got on to the start-finish straight itself. Yeah, massive disaster.
Yeah, we saw a bunch of guys. I think there were 3-4 guys actually who got involved in that, but the rest of the guys in front managed to get away.
Yeah, so that was you wanted entertainment. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, we got Advait entertainment there.
Anyone
the race. We were watching. You were setting lap times, matching the pace of the guys in front. Except Arjun, who was blisteringly quick this time. But that just makes us all the more excited for tomorrow's race.
Yeah, and tomorrow's an amazing circuit. I think it's one of the coolest circuits to drive at, so it should be fun and some good racing.
Good, we're looking forward to it. And we're looking forward to more Advait entertainment.
And we've now got Arman with us on the Discord.
Arman, talk us through your disaster.
I mean, second race did not that much drama really. There was drama all around me, but mine was fairly sober compared to the first one. But
Till you ran out of
unfortunately, there
fuel.
was-
Maybe you should.
unfortunately, there wasn't fuel. But again, listen, I thought it's a game, and I thought that's automatic. Okay? but it's a learning, right? It's a learning for me as well, saying that okay, they're making it as close to reality as possible. So check everything before the session starts. Back to basics. But no, but no, man. I mean, on the formation lap, there was so much chaos up and down the grid. In the start of the formation lap, we saw a couple of cars hitting. I mean, going into one another, and then on the last corner when the green flag dropped again, a bunch of guys, all over the place. So. Yeah, this needs to stay calm. I think the first few laps.
Yeah, clearly. I mean, a lot of guys are experiencing damage, so we are going to look into that and have a discussion with the drivers to see what we can do about damage on GT3 cars. So, anyways, thanks, Arman, and we are going to sign off now.
Yeah, they're so lucky there are no damage bills being issued here.
We should actually. We should just take real damage costs and put it in.
We really should.
And then I won't be driving. I'm happy
Maybe the manufacturers would be interested looking at the scenario they're in right now.
Yeah, absolutely.
If you're imposing damage,
yeah,
then I'm not gonna be driving anymore. I'm happy where I am for now.
Yeah, but I think it's time to end the stream for today. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for joining us, and I hope you all had a great time watching the race with us. Do join us again tomorrow. We're heading to Watkins Glen, which isn't too far from Sebring, again in America. And like Adelaide said, it's one of the most exciting circuits to drive on, and I'm sure it's one of the most exciting circuits to watch. So until then, it's Sohail and me signing off, and Arman, obviously, who's joined us in the commentary box. And thank you very much.
Thanks, guys. See you.